Coming up on this episode of Solution Based Community presents the Get Together, Walidation. What in the hell is walidation?
Yeah.
If you're in an environment where you're employed by a particular individual, right, and they kind of controlling the lesson, you have to be conscious of how you move.
As a Black woman, I live in two Americas. I live in a mainstream America that I have to learn how to survive and maneuver in order for me to flourish in the America that's most important to me.
There's Black famous and then there's white famous, right? We have to know everybody. We got to know friends and we got to know living single. But they don't got to know living single.
I just want to see my people represented 100% at the highest level. So
I feel like when you're a brown, Black, you have to be better than the rest, right? You have to prove yourself just to have that equal playing field. So in an extent, yes, you need that validation.
I live for tomorrow because I understand that tomorrow lies my people. Damn it, the last thing I'm gonna fuck with is money. All right? I'm gonna always get that. All right.
no, the last thing you're gonna mess with is some pork ribs.
But you damn right. You damn right. That's the last damn thing I fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take them.
Sure, I sure will too.
I'll take them.
I will have some
There you
short.
go.
That's fine.
Exactly.
Take all of it. Take all of it. I don't
Get the
recommend
pork on the grill Let's get into it. Welcome back, family. Welcome to another episode of the Solution Based Community Podcast. This is the Get Together. I'm your man, King King. And with me, as always, is my brother, Elder Herb. What's good, bro?
Peace, gang.
Yes, sir. Yes. Chilla, you know. And of course, we got the exuberant, the melanin blessed brown girl. What up, sis?
Wait a minute. Stop.
It's too early, Herb. It's too early, Herb.
No. It's too early for that shit. What the fuck is exuberant, dog? You gotta stop this shit, man. Seriously, man. We can't be doing shit like that. It is too early for that shit.
It's too early for it.
I'm sorry, brown girl. Listen.
I don't know what it means either. I just figured he was being nice, so it has to be great.
But I would like him to tell me what the fuck he says before he said. At least text me. Text me the definition of some shit. All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
Lively, energetic, exciting.
Oh, that sounds legit.
Yeah.
For the love
Yeah.
of God.
All right.
Hey,
What's up, brown girl?
I'm sorry. You all that though. You that. Whatever the fuck he said, you that. You know what I mean? I give you that.
Whatever the fuck he said, you that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, now listen. Today's episode, we talking about a term that Elder Herb has coined called walidation. And to delve into that, we got some special guests as always with us. First off, we have the incredibly talented, the hilarious content creator, member of the theater group, the Garage Guild, author of her own line of coloring books entitled, and I quote, a motherfucking coloring book.
That's what we're talking about.
And co-star of the upcoming sketch comedy show,
shit I like.
Sketch Marks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flash to the show. What up, Flash?
Hello.
What's up? What up?
Hi. I'm good. How y'all doing?
I'm all right.
Chilling.
Oh, I sound interested in that bio. I like that. That was like, oh, he's talking about me.
Yeah, and I actually understood all the words that he said when he introduced you too.
Oh, you got all those.
That's what makes it better. Yeah, that's what.
You got all those.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're making progress
then.
then.
Coloring book for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It has two volumes. It's volume 1 and then volume 2 is that Black Mom say.
Mm.
So it has. I like to color, but I like to color cuss words. So
That's called a colorful language.
That's right.
That's dope.
Colorful words.
That is
That's
dope.
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
That is.
sentence enhancers. But SpongeBob reference.
There you go.
Super dope.
All right, bet. Now, our next guest is a very, very special one for me. I have known this woman since, what are we talking, 6th, 7th grade now? So we're talking 30 plus years. She is an assistant clinical director and outpatient therapist. She provides therapy services to children, teenagers, adults, helping them with anxiety, depression, grief, trauma, the host of other things. She is one of the strongest, most devoted mothers I have ever known. And I am not just saying that because she is the mother of my only child. I'm saying that because this is an absolute fact. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my partner in co-parenting, Manami Jackson. What's up, Miss Jackson?
What up, Miss Jackson? What's going on? Peace. Queen. Peace, Queen. This guy here, right? Great friend of mine, right? You know what I mean? I kid around with the bullshit sometimes, I mean, but the boy always come through for me. I'm going to talk ahead of the game and really say that I'm going to value this young man's opinion when it comes to this, because we done been through hell together. We had hour talks on the phone about this thing, and I tell you, man, I love you, man, and my man Jeff, y'all. Yo. My man Jeff Webb.
What up, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
What's
Jeff.
going on, Jeff, man? Pleasure.
Now, here goes my family. You know what I mean? This man has been with me from literally day one. This is my family. Like, I didn't even understand, like, what was going on when they said LeVar is going off to the service. I didn't understand that. What the fuck you mean he going off to the service? I mean, he going to jail. Tell me, because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But this is my cousin, man. And one of the first examples to show how to do your thing, get up out of here and do exactly what you need to do to not physically get out, but mentally get out. I want to thank you for that, cuz, and I want to introduce you on that tip, man. My cousin LeVar Edwards, everybody.
Yo,
What's up, LeVar?
Afternoon.
Welcome.
what's good, brother?
Thank you. What's going on, good brother?
Herb,
What's up?
what in the hell is walidation?
Yes.
Walidation is a word that I coined, man, to identify with my feelings towards us needing the validation of white folk. I found myself as an early professional in the game, and even periodically I gotta, you know how you gotta smack yourself and wake yourself up?
Yeah.
I found myself really looking up every time I did something. Looking up to validate what I did, if it was right or wrong. And I started to see, and it really fucked with me. And I really coined this phrase when I saw my dog do it. Facts. When I saw my dog do it, I said, yo.
Looking up to you for approval.
Looking to me for approval. Like I'm looking for these white folks for approval. I should be ashamed of myself. And with that being said, you know what I mean? I coined the phrase validation. And I didn't do it to clown people. I wear a suit every day to work. And the first thing that comes to a brother's mind is, you know, you dressing out of character. You really want to say you dressing white. You speak in any terms like, you know, them big words you be fucking saying, and them shits is like, yo, you talking white. You understand? Like success don't belong to us.
Right.
So I had to coin a phrase to really embarrass myself. You know what I mean? To really say, yo, you wildin', dog. Fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? Like success can't belong to you. You should be a fucking shame of yourself.
Now, is it necessary? Like, do we feel that there's a need for it in our own community?
I tell you what, when you have a system that was built by white America for white America, you do kind of periodically want to see where you at. You tend to want to look over. You understand? But now we're in a position to where we're reclaiming success. And the reason why I say reclaiming and reclaiming what is ours, because I'm a true believer that we are responsible for every piece of success in this country. And it's arguable that we are responsible for every piece of success from day one. You know, because we are documented to have given birth to all this shit.
Yeah, we built most of this.
So this thing here, man, wanted to have this conversation because I need clarity.
Mm.
I need clarity, and I know that there's some people out there, if there's no people in here, in this room, you know what I mean? There's some people out there that need clarity on that too. When am I looking for validation? When am I somebody that my knee-jerk reaction is to look for white folk for validation? Is that true? You know what I mean?
Let me jump in on that.
Go ahead.
Let me help
Jump
you
in.
out. First off, hold your motherfucking head up.
True.
All right? Because you talking about, and I know it's metaphorically speaking, but for you not to look up, now looking up for validation is a conversation too, but for you not to look up and be aware of your surroundings is to act irresponsibly.
Yes, sir.
If you're in an environment where you're employed by a particular individual, right, and they kind of controlling the lesson, forget the employment part, the lessons that you're learning while you're there, while you're employed there, right, you have to be conscious of how you move. Now, that doesn't mean that you alter your character, but push the bar a little bit. But know when you're pushing them too much, because it's silly to ruin a potential opportunity. So for us to take over anything, you know, in my opinion, we have to have some baseline of knowledge. And unfortunately, like you said, they created some portions of it where we need that baseline of knowledge. Now, if we don't need it, then yeah, we can step out independently, we can do our own thing. But while you're under that umbrella, you can't move reckless. You can't just be foolish and unbeknownst to what's going on around you. Kind of like what you used the example earlier about your dog. Your dog is looking for you for validation. You feed him, period. No communication, no said rankings, no disrespect. You feed him, period. You house him, period. So we don't have to necessarily look at it like that, but we kind of do. We got to, you know what I mean? You got to make sure that you living in reality. So for me to not be cautious, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not talking about diminishing who you are, your character, belittling yourself, not acting like a man or acting like a woman. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying being conscious of your actions and how they affect others. And real talk, if you're employed by a Black person who is pulling the strings and who pays your check and is responsible for your advancement, you're going to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Until you're that person. Like it is kind of how it is. If we're millionaires and we're looking to do a merger or a venture with somebody, the people with the bank, we want to make sure that they comfortable with our terms and, you know, we're not making them nervous to do business with us. You know what I mean? Like it's touchy. It's touchy. Now I think in some instances people are, you know, kissing. We're not off that. Like that validation is something different. That comes in the individuals or maybe the you know, the torment of the thought process, and it's just ruined on that aspect. But I mean, I personally think that you need to some extent. Otherwise, to me, you're operating irresponsibly.
I'm with you, and I understand that totally. The thing is that what I'm talking about, what that word means to me is a little bit deeper than, you know what I mean, than that. I mean, that wasn't surface. It definitely wasn't surface. But it goes a little deeper, meaning that this structure here is not to be challenged whatsoever. So therefore, I won't challenge this structure. What I'll do is go with the flow. You understand? As a clinician myself, I'm not going to ever say that I know everything. I'm not going to ever say that. But I do know the 46 global criteria that I'm supposed to flex in and out of. You know what I mean? The 12 core functions that I'm supposed to perform on a daily basis. When I know that I'm doing something right, and I still look for that pat on the back, that shit is no go. That's a no go.
Mm-hmm.
That's something
There's nothing
that
wrong with wanting to be recognized for doing good, though.
Okay.
And necessarily validation. Like when I'm doing well, I want positive feedback from my job, from my partner, from my kid, from my mom. Like validation, is okay to want validation.
They just happen to be the ones in charge.
Everything in moderation. You ain't got to be cowering to nobody. Am I doing the right, boss? Am I doing the right, boss? It's like, whoa, wait, all right, bitch, wait a minute. Like, this.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree with my cousin wholeheartedly.
I have a theory. So I think there's Black famous and then there's white famous, right? For the entertainment industry. We have to know everybody. We got to know friends and we got to know living single. But they don't got to know living single. when you set yourself up as a standard, yeah, there is a portion where entertainment industry, you kind of want that balance. It's a difference between SNL and Living Color. And Living Color's not on the air no more. SNL is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, and that for me, that's what it is. Because I'm like in the entertainment industry. It's like, do you really want to be white famous? Because when you get white famous, they strip you. And it's almost like white validation.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by they strip you?
Let's keep your hair straight. Let's lighten your makeup. Let's. How about you talk like this? Don't be so black. Well, bitch, look at me.
That probably explains the definition of what I'm talking about a little bit more. And let me elaborate on it. Once you get to that point where you quote unquote black famous and you aspire to go higher, right? But your privilege, with your privilege, with your image per se, right? Under this umbrella, there is a brick wall. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And in order to get through that brick wall, you need that validation. You understand? You need that stamp. Mm-hmm. And that stamp has the potential, you know what I mean? And actually, yeah, it has a large amount of potential to really strip you of who you are as a human being. And the thing is that unconsciously, some of us are willing to allow society to strip us of who we are to have a little taste of that, you know what I mean, that validation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That hierarchy of validation. And that's what I mean about that. You understand? And the whole, well, I wouldn't say the whole, but a contributing factor to me creating this platform was to build a power that doesn't need as much validation. We don't need the pat on the back, because if I pump gas and my cousin LeVar owns a gas station and I get fired by this guy for looking him in the eye too long, I go pump gas at my cousin's gas station. I'm using that as, from a just really small surface standpoint so we can all, understand it real quick.
Can I interject?
Yes, please.
Sorry
Please
to interrupt, but so I work in the industry.
You ain't sorry.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead and interrupt.
Well, I'm sorry to everybody else, just not you.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
So I work in corporate America. I work in the hospitality industry, and we're pretty much laid out like the NFL. You kind of have a breaking point, a 50-yard line, where on one side of the 50-yard line are your line level employees, your guys that work at the front desk, the cooks, the housekeepers, and they're minorities. And then on that other side of the 50-yard line, you have your management, your upper management, your regionals, and things like that. And the most difficult part for us is, and it's not about validation or a pat on the back, but it's about extending that olive branch or that ladder to help some of our people that are maybe less fortunate, not in a specific position. Like for me, I've got an undergrad degree, I've got a master's degree, but it doesn't matter because I haven't gotten a raise because of that. I haven't advanced because of that. I've had to move around. The standards are separate for people that are not minorities to come up in the ranks and things like that. And I think that's where our struggle. You prove it,
yeah, but you proving my point.
But what I'm saying is we spend more, like, for instance, I've had to move around. Herb knows my background. Since I got in management in 2000, I've been at over 30 properties. I've traveled.
And that's facts.
I've done everything in the hospitality industry that you could think of. Mm-hmm. But I'm not, they'll never promote me. I don't want to say they'll never, but I have to work twice as hard in order to get a position that I have a, hold on, let me finish.
Jeff, wait a minute. No. I want you to finish, but I want you to bookmark what the fuck you just said.
You have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, I want you to bookmark that fucking comment.
I agree I hear you, but I've got a girl that works for my company that has no experience that's become a regional sales manager. She calls me to help her do her job.
What's her name? Amber?
It actually is.
There you go.
and she was promoted by a Karen.
There you have it.
As my witness. And I think in our neighborhood and our function and what we do every day, I try and spend time with my team to find out where they want to get to. They created this position for this girl. Like they literally, it wasn't something that was available. They didn't make it known to everybody. They said, hey, would you move to Pittsburgh?
Nice.
She said, yeah, we're going to create this position where you oversee 6 hotels. And I've got people of color that have been in the industry 20, 25 years that they wouldn't do the same for.
Now, Manami.
I think that's the problem.
Manami, didn't they, I remember when you were getting this current position that you were in, wasn't there something to do with the creation of this one for you?
Yes, my situation has been a little bit different. I see validation as twofold. I feel like when you're of brown, black, you have to be better than the rest, right? You have to prove yourself just to have that equal playing field. So in an extent, yes, you need that validation. But once you get that, then you should be able to be true to your core self, whatever that is. That's one piece. To me, there's another piece to this where there's people that constantly need that validation due to self-hate and not having a stable sense of self. But for me, I've gotten promoted. I've gotten promoted in New Jersey. I've gotten promoted in Pennsylvania. I've gotten promoted here. And I think it's a combination of we need diversity. She looks black, but she doesn't look too black.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
for that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to put a different perspective because I'm someone, I don't have a college degree at all. I don't have associates. I have a high school degree and a couple credits. However, I did move up in my company and they did have to create a position for me as well because during one of my reviews, I'm like, based off of everything that you want me to do, it's not in my job description and I'm not going to do it. And you might as well consider me a flight risk. Meaning I was willing to leave the company just because who I was reporting to, I wasn't happy and I didn't feel as though I was getting paid enough. So initially they gave me more money and I was like, that's great, but it's really not enough. But according to the role I was in, I couldn't go any higher. So they created another role for me so that they can go ahead and give me the money I was asking for. So one of the things that I say when it comes to validation is you have to use it for your benefit. I've always gone under the impression of that as a Black woman, I live in 2 Americas. I live in a mainstream America that I have to learn how to survive and maneuver in order for me to flourish in the America that's most important to me. So once you learn how to survive and maneuver and move and play the same game that they play in the corporate game and everything, it makes it easier for you to seek your validation so that you can go ahead and move to get more money. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care what you call me. I need you to pay me. So it's like, in order to get paid, in order to get what I need, in order to get the higher money that I want, I have to move like that. And when I say move like them, is like, if I don't like something, I speak up. I'm like, no, actually, this is not going to work for me. Or this is a better idea. And there's sometimes that I have to humble myself. And even though I know somebody is like completely out of pocket, the way I have to correct them is a way that they respond to the best. And sometimes making it seem as though it's their idea. And everything. I was like, well,
into the position to choose it.
And so it's just, I mean, white validation, it sucks. It's a trash experience at times, to be completely honest with you. And
Absolutely.
It's unfortunately it's a necessary evil in this current day. Now, is it going to be necessary the way things are moving in the future? Hopefully not. But if you make it so that that's the only way that you feel valid in your work and your opinion, like Ms. Jackson said, I don't want to mess your name up. That's where you got the whole game fucked up.
That's where that was the reason. The exact reason why I took the route that I took and decided not to go back to management and instead just stick with my license as a licensed optician for the state. Because what I decided to do when I was looking at the playing field, having to deal with the closet racism and the shaking the hands and the smiling in people's face, and somebody asking me as I go on an interview what I want to be when I grow up. Like, I'm a grown ass man, dog. What are you talking about when I grow up? You know what I'm saying? So you having to deal with stuff like that every day, and then me thinking it ain't gonna do nothing but get worse and worse, and like the the fallout from not doing it is just going to be worse the higher I get up as well. And I'm like, I would rather just go for this quality of life and make my money and be happy and maybe go somewhere else and do something else. But I can assuredly do whatever I want to do with my license. I can go anywhere I want to go with that. I ain't got to stick with them, and nobody can tell me what to do because this is mine, But that was actually a very real decision that I had to make, man. And it was tough, But
King, I think we forced to make decisions as black men. We forced to make decisions that we ain't all the way comfortable with. You know what I mean? When it comes to that shit. Jeff just explained it, how he said that he has to work twice as hard. And I don't know, I know all of us remember Barack Obama in office. And for those whole 8 years, he had to continue to prove that he was fit for that fucking position. And I feel that way on an everyday basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel that way on an everyday basis. I have to constantly prove. You see all the fucking letters behind my name. You see every fucking up-to-date credential on my wall. Everything is updated. You see all the damn continuum education credits. You see the programs that I'm in. You see the programs that I completed. You see all the college credits that I have. You see all the college credits that I aspire to get and that I'm enrolled to get. But you still indirectly ask me to prove that I am okay to be in this position. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, Herb, I'm with you. I think sometimes, too, a lot of these situations are individual basis. I think one of the things that nobody has said yet, what I think you're leaving out, is that, especially not for nothing with our black females, like real talk, with us too, but for the most part, you're not talking about the fact that they fear us. They're intimidated by us. And when you're dealing with like middle management per se, so if you like in the retail business, all right, I worked in, I was district manager for codes loss prevention when I came out to service, right? So you have that manager position, you got that district position, and then that regional position. If you sharper than that district position and you that manager, they not trying to hear nothing you talking about. Nope. They blocking because of that fear. Is like, oh, this dude gonna bunny hop over. You know what I mean? And it happened to me, actually. I bunny hopped over the lady who trained me. You know what I mean? But I see it a lot with our black females because, they be official, they tight. Like, real talk, for us, it's pick and choose who go to school. We athletes, we ain't going to class. You know how we do. You know what I mean? Where the females, for whatever reason, they just driven. They've always been banging out the books. They've always been into, like, they've always been doing their 1-2. But, the powers that be smother them. But when they are in these positions, man, and they coming in and they squared away, like you said, with the alphabet in front of it, it's fear. A lot of it is fear. So we are trying to see, like, how can I get close to this dude without him getting scared? We kind of, so that's what I was saying before. Like, it's about a secure thing. It's about control thing. It's also about having goals. If I know, like, all right, I'm going to deal with this cat for 6 months, but while I'm here, I need to learn this, that, and the third from him. But I can't let him on to what I'm trying to learn from him. Like, it's a game. We got these things in our school, that we get the kids called survival laws. And when the young lady was speaking before, she just explained it in detail. You got to play the game until you're in a position to change it. And in the position to change it is obtaining that knowledge or that information and go out and do your own thing. And, on a larger path down the road is when we take over our own economic situation and we don't have to deal with that anymore. But right now, you got to play the game. You got to play the game in some situations.
Yeah. Another contributing factor to this platform being built is to create a community that thinks forward. You understand? So what I mean by this is that we don't just want to exist. We want to live. You know what I'm saying? And
amen.
With me creating a platform, you creating a platform, everyone on this panel creating a platform, there's less likely for us to have a hungry community. you may make a great salary, but your heart is fucking torn. You going to work feeling like a real live piece of shit. You understand what I'm saying to you? Come on over here where we gonna love you anyhow. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like the grandma say, anyhow. One of the inspirations behind this whole thing is for us to build this community that accepts one another from that standpoint, to acknowledge you when you don't even know it. You understand? Not having to bang on your door and say, yo, my year is up. What's up with my raise? I shouldn't have to fucking ask you.
I shouldn't.
So what I'm saying is, I would love to be a part of a community and build a community that acknowledges each other without, that particular person even looking up. You understand? And that's what I mean by this whole thing. I don't mean that I'm running around boot licking or shoe shuffling. What I'm saying is that I'm tired of asking you for what the fuck I deserve.
No, and I think too, also there's another layer here, put yourself in a position so maybe you can be more of independent.
Oh, I have.
Independent contracting. You call your own shot. So you do what you have to do to play the game, and then now make this what you want to make it. For example, in Pennsylvania, I work for someone, Black-owned therapist, provide Black services. She made it her own. She was tired of the systematic racism and not being able to get opportunities, so she made it her own. So it's just really having to make your mark and go from there in that sense.
Now you had, Ms. Jackson, you had a lot of situations, particularly I believe when you got down there in Florida, where you had to sit in and counsel children, but their parents are involved, correct?
Yes.
Right? So as a Black woman, how do you get past that situation where, they have to sit back and evaluate and validate you or make you feel like, they want to be there with you? Have you dealt with that? And what is that like?
So I work in a pretty diverse area. However, my caseload is not diverse. My caseload is a majority of Caucasian, Hispanic, very small amount of my Black and brown. So I've had a lot of white females, teenagers tell me, oh my gosh, my mom is so racist. But when I see mom, she's smiling, saying I'm the best.
That fake shit.
Where are you at? Where do you work? Where are you still in Florida?
I work at an outpatient mental health facility.
I mean, in what state?
In Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in Florida. So it's very diverse. Staff is diverse. So my first interaction, if I have a family, a mother, child, very confident in my presentation, go over my credentials and my background, my years of experience, and I just let it play out because it's a choice, because I'm fully confident in my skill set. So if one client doesn't feel comfortable, there's going to be another one coming that does. So that's why I really want to reiterate the stable sense of self that you have to have. That's where it starts. And then when I'm just with my client, I put it out there. We're from two different worlds, but there is some commonalities that we have. And do you have an issue with us being from two different worlds? I put it out there because I want to make the transition of building the rapport with the client very smooth. And I don't want race to be a barrier if it doesn't have to be. But again, you have to be a seasoned clinician to be able to put those things out there and not offend. And so that's my style.
What?
Ran into any kind of racism on that end, covert more so, but it's been very smooth because again, you see me, but look at my skill set. And so initially, yes. Did I wear my hair like this initially when I started? No.
No.
Straight hair,
Me too.
and then once, I again show you my skill set.
I think the lady that you use for the lady, apologize for cutting you off. The lady that you used as an example, though, that's reverse validation. She probably is racist, but she's going to do what she needs to appease you to get your services. She needs your services. So it's about that hierarchy of what services being provided at that time. You provide a service, you shout out your credentials. She like, she's a little dark for me, but she's official. The same way they sneak into our neighborhoods for food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on a smaller note.
Right, the best
It's
weed.
about that service. It's about
But
what's
That was
being
white
rendered.
on applications before.
I want to
leave 'em
say
blank.
this though. I work in an industry where I have had some of my white counterparts come to me. Now I work in a pretty high-end building in Center City, and I've had staff members come to me and say, and this has been throughout my career in specific positions that I've been in, they've said, "We're surprised they hired you," and didn't hide the fact that they said they were surprised that I got hired because I was black.
And
I've been in tons of situations where that.
I'll tell you on another note.
I'm like, wait a minute.
And they said it. They said it to me. Wow, we shocked they hired you. Why? Because
On
you're black.
another note, you know, I've had some white colleagues that really looked out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they showed their power. They allowed me to use their privilege and put me forward and say, all right, well, look, you know, I got you in here. I do this for you. I got you over here. Listen, here, I'm going to sign this and get this to them, and they're going to take care of you and so on and so forth. And that's just embarrassing because, I mean, I could have had a brother that wanted to do that. The thing is that he didn't have the power to do it. You understand?
You shouldn't be embarrassed, because that's how white folks get stuff done.
Yeah.
That's how.
Well, no. I'm not saying that I was embarrassed to get it done like that.
You just wish that you had a brother you could have went to.
I wish that I do have brothers I can go to, but I wish my brother had that power to put me in that position. That's the embarrassing part. So
hold on, before you move on.
Yes,
before
sir.
you move on.
Yes, sir.
You know what's more embarrassing than that?
What's that, sir?
Is that real talk? Probably before 2010, 05 maybe, brothers wasn't looking brothers out. We had that crabs in a barrel mentality. If a dude was half up, I can't put you on yet. I'm gonna put you on when I'm really bubbled because I want to son you. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to tell you. So like,
I don't know.
And some of my experiences, it has been white people that's helped you the most. Granted, they could have been using you, knowing like, yo, I got him. It's like I got Jordan on my team, so I'm gonna look good. I'm the coach. So
Most
some of them use that mentality, so that might be their motivation. But some of our brothers and sisters, they really wasn't off that back then. I know my mid-20s, now they looking out for the cookout.
Cousin, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I'm never going on this platform. I'm never going to quote me on this, please. Peep, the key word is conscious, right? Mm-hmm. I'm never going to consciously diminish my people's work. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But what I am going to do is I'm going to tell you that I understand that. I can empathize with it. The reason being is because sometimes in order for people to stay here, they got to keep the people underneath them where they are. Because listen, I mean, to keep it 100, it can only be one nigga here. Who is it going to be? You or him?
The token.
You understand? Yep. So therefore, you can't bring him up. You can't bring her up, right? And you can't even tell them you can't do it. So you just got to look like a boot-licking backsliding nigga.
Yep.
Say it again.
You just gotta look like that.
What? Bootlicking, backsliding nigga. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, that's what. And I don't even use that word. But I just had to say it in order for people to understand where I'm coming from. You got people who listen. It's only room for one of y'all.
And so the kind of liberties that higher up have, people of color who are higher up, the kind of liberties that their white counterparts have, they don't have.
Exactly.
Able to bring the bitches up from the club, but you can't.
What I'm saying to you, LeVar, is that sometimes you got your Negroes that want to be, I'm the man.
And mind you, I said 05, 010. I feel like we're in a different world now. I feel like those that's up, they're trying to put you on, now. And then you got a whole nother dynamic where we burning bridges. You know what I'm saying? But like those of us that's running and really trying to network and trying to really make this a better space for whoever we're responsible for, whether it be our families or our communities. I feel like that's a way better situation today.
I'm trying to put us all on. You're less likely to fail when you put your peoples on. You're less likely to fail.
You got more eyes, man.
Having the right people around you, not having yes men around you all the time. Somebody that's gonna pull your coattail and be like, "Look, you fucking up.
Right?
That's not a good idea." Exactly. Well, yes, men you to death, literally to death.
Right.
So, all right.
And we also have to hold each other more accountable when it comes to how we move in business. So, Herb, I just want to go back to where you were saying how you shouldn't have to wait for somebody to acknowledge you for your pay increase. And so I tell people all the time, so my background is HR. I tell people all the time, don't wait for them to come to you with your pay. Like when, like most companies, they have pay increases around the same time of year, but there's also times of the year where you did big projects or you did this, or you've done a significant lift for the company that that the company monetized really well, whether they save money, save man hours. So you have to take stock of everything that you've done. And once you realize that you've done more than what the average person does, that's when you have to sell yourself to the people that you report to as well. And we don't do it enough. Like I negotiate my shit every year. So like the first year I did it, I was like, but like they were offering me a 3% increase, and I'm like, yo, I don't work my ass off this year. 3% is barely enough for cost of living increase. And I went and I was like, hey, no, I was like, based off of what I've done this year, I've done boom, boom, boom. I was like, we've done this. So in addition to my pay increase, they also gave me what they called a retention bonus in order for me to stay with the company. As long as I met my goals every quarter, then I would be able to get a XYZ amount of money each quarter. And we don't realize there's money in these budgets and these corporations for just that. There's money for
most definitely.
They have to. They have to
trying to act like it. They try to act like they ain't got it, but they got it. It's there.
I went and applied to a whole nother job and was like, they offered me this, so what y'all gonna do?
Hey, brown girl.
And they upped it to keep me. So
I told them motherfuckers, I said, I don't give a fuck if you give me a cup of coffee. I just need to be acknowledged.
You're selling yourself short.
You know
what? No. I knew what I was going. I knew what the thing was. The thing is that I was saying, yo, I'm here. And you're going to acknowledge me. I'm not going to sit around and wait for this shit. And I'll go all the way up to Trump if I need to. So you can talk all that bullshit if you want to. I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? Stating that I used the chain of command. So if it led me to Trump, no, I didn't jump structure. I just ended up here because nobody was fucking listening. Is there going to be a time where you yourself are going to put yourself in a position, right, to go ahead and make life a little bit easier for your brother and sister? Meaning that, like what Ms. Jackson said, create your own, I think you said something like in reference to creating your own path or create your own businesses. Yeah, I'm about that. I'm about creating my own business and creating my own income. That's what I'm doing, and that's what my journey is. It's a long fucking journey, but that's what my journey is. And my whole inspiration, because I make enough now, and you can't pay me no less than a certain amount because of my credentials. So therefore, I am guaranteed this amount, and it's going to put food on the table, right? So, but I'm not satisfied there. I want to get to the point where I could put somebody on. I can pull in the intern and say, hey, intern, listen, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to do. You know what I do? Now, Ms. Jackson, you would understand this. You know what I mean? Because of what you do. You know what I do with the interns? I talk to them in clinical terms every single day.
Right.
I make them talk to me about the 46 global criteria every day. Where does that fit in the 46 global criteria? Right. Where does that fit? What you just said to me, where does that fit? All right, write it down, and I need you to come to me tomorrow. The next thing we talk about, anything we talk about, where you going to tell me where that fits? You understand? And that's the shit that we need to be doing on an everyday basis, is reaching back and pulling somebody up and not only putting them in position, but making sure that they have the ammo to maintain that position. Do you know we got to reintroduce ourselves on a regular fucking basis as African Americans? We got to say, hey, good morning, I'm such and such, and yes, I'm still qualified to be where I am.
I use psychological tricks on my job to do it.
To
get people.
Like elaborate.
For instance, when somebody comes in, all right, because you know I'm a licensed optician. Okay, so I sell glasses. I style glasses. I fit. I create them. I can make them from scratch to sitting on your face. Okay. I also have a background in entertainment and understanding style and how things are supposed to look and what it is that you're trying to go for when you're presenting yourself. So I get that. However, I'm the only black guy there right now. Okay. And there's another dude that's over there that's tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed, ex-police officer guy. You know what I'm saying? So when I get those people that come in that are more comfortable with him, but he's busy, then they kind of look at me side-eye. So now I got to trick them into trusting me. Right. And the first thing I do to trick them into trusting me is I tell them that whatever they pick out is ugly. That's the first thing I do. The reason is because now all of a sudden they don't think that I'm trying to sell them something. Now they think that I'm going to tell them the truth because I just told them that something they liked was whack. All right. So they're like, oh, okay. So you know what? I like you. You're going to tell me the truth. Exactly. Put that back. Try this when I come over here and buy these $500 lenses because you need them. Simple as that.
Oh, you ain't got no taste. Come over here.
But you got to do stuff like that because we look at it, you know, that's one of those modes that they don't see when you talk about that white privilege situation. They never see that look from the other person on the other side of, I don't know. They never see that. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how that feels. You know what I mean? So when you talk about, all right, I'm looking at a situation of where I need to get the approval from this person, you know what I'm saying? But then these other people over here talking about, oh, everything's the same. That dichotomy doesn't even make sense to them. They don't even get it. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even, you know, but it's a real thing. And we got to deal with it all the time.
What do we do from here on out? Like, I know what I'm going to do. You know, my father has a property in East Camden that I'm going to utilize to really go in and go back home and talk to my people and deal with my people while putting my other people's on. You understand what I'm saying? So I really want to know, like, I want to know from a community standpoint, you know, I really want to leave this with a sense of, you know, which I know I will and I always do, you know what I mean? With a sense of, like, when I wake up tomorrow, we're going to be even in a better place. You know what I mean? I can't wait till my son get out of school because, you know, this community is so large that when they see him, that, oh, that's Herb's son, put him on.
Right.
You understand? LJ. Oh, nah, that's King's son. Listen, he comes over here.
Yeah.
Put him with me. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that salary. I got that. Don't, you know what I mean? Put him with me. I want to build this community to where we like that. You understand? Where we have to worry less. I ain't saying we don't have to worry, where we have to worry less. Meaning that when you come with me, yeah, you gotta work. Yeah, you gotta know your functions. Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. You understand? But I'm gonna tell you from not from a punitive standpoint, but from a love standpoint, you fucking up the church's money.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, wait a minute. What you mean? No, you fucking up the church's money. You know, I would like us to go around this room and just, because I know everybody that's on this platform has a, you know, has they ducks in, you know, how do you say the ducks in the, you ducks come on, King, you supposed, you gotta pick me up on this shit, man. You can't be intelligent Negro.
You was doing good, man.
The fuck up on this shit, bro. Hey, you good.
You was doing good, man.
Yeah, all right, well, thank you. Ducks in the, what he said, the duck shit. Well, listen, I know everybody that's on this platform right now that we invited on this platform got their shit together, right? And I know everybody that's on this platform right now give a shit about their people. I would like us to go around and really, really just let it be known what we do, right? And what we're going to do to really, to better secure. You see the safe words I'm using, Miss Jackson?
Yes. very, very cautiously.
That goes in my dad notes. But to better secure a future for our people.
I'll start with LeVar, man.
Oh, okay.
I think you might want to end it with him. He got Shit long. Nah, I'm just
cut it out, man. No matter what you do, it's always more work to do. It's always. As far as me, for the most part, on one sector, I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. That right there, Camden Clock Chaser. That's a youth track club that I run here in the city. You know, we've been fortunate enough, mashallah, to service about 160 kids a year. Not counting this year, obviously, with the pandemic. But in addition to that, we're doing mentoring services. We also got the branch off of that called Forget Me Not Athletics. That's just where I seen just a disconnect between our stellar athletes, our stellar scholar athletes rather. So they might not be a superstar, but their grades is official, but no coaches, the hoopla is not around them. So they wasn't getting these kids into college. So, I set out to go seek them scholarship monies where they can continue their collegiate careers. We're going to keep pushing that, try to grow that, maybe bring on some actual more advisors to assist me with that. Right now, I've just been doing it by myself. We've been fortunate to land 11 students in the college in the last 3 years. So that's dope.
Nice.
Moving forward, I've just recently, I'm Gary B. Councilman in November here in Woodland. So with that platform,
yes, sir.
It's a lot of relief that some of the local residents need here that we're not going to be able to provide in taxes. So I got some other tricks up my sleeve, providing them, bringing like a food bank here to the city, just doing different things to kind of supplement that challenge that they might be facing. I got some ideas. I'm in the mix of formerly in a transitional housing and vocational program. I've been doing some studies where a lot of our young men, 15 to 19, what have you, when they're returning home from incarceration, they're homeless. Then they got these laws where those individuals with criminal records, they can't go back to the projects. So if I get out at 18, my mom living in projects, I got a criminal record as an adult, I can't live there. So I'm homeless. So I want to kind of tackle that on. So not only am I homeless, I don't have any skills because I was locked up. So, so I want to kind of marry that into a high school vocational program because I think we talked about this before. I just feel like they jerked everybody and nobody spoke up. Nobody recognized what happened with the vocational training. So, we either could be drug dealers, we either computer techs and we get famous off Instagram or something like that, or we athletes. That's the thought process. All those other things, all those other wedges where we can slip in, we just got to be fortunate to slip in. So I want to try to, cast the net and create a program that kind of combats that to some degree. I know it was a little long-winded, but some of the things that I'm working on.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That's some of the things that we're working on diligently over here. And, I'm really big on focusing on the younger generation.
That's big.
Right now, I currently work for an organization called New Jersey Youth Corps. So in that capacity, I'm servicing those young adults 16 through 24 that for whatever reason, traditional school wasn't for them, because that's another thing. Like, you got to go to college or you don't do anything. And, I want to kind of break that idea up and give them other alternatives and let them know that alternative high school or alternative path doesn't mean a negative path. It's just your path. Everybody has their own journey. And so, just trying to inspire, man, and uplift and try to grab hold of these youngins and give them a hug and breathe and whisper whatever life that we can into them.
Flash, what you got?
What was the question?
I was in the way, right? You could say I was in the way.
I was like, woo. No, I'm high. What was the question?
No, what is it that you can do or maybe even plan on doing to make it less necessary for that actual need for that validation or for us to be validated by others?
So, like King said before, I do theater. So me and my brother are writing partners. We have a theater group. We comedy writers, right? So we're doing our own production, trying to do that. And my son writes, and he's about to be 17, and he does his music. So I don't want him looking outside for anything. One-stop shop right over here with mama and uncle.
What state you in, sweetheart?
Huh?
What state you in, Miss Flash?
New Jersey.
Okay.
So, and we work out of where the group is based out of Philly. We were doing the theater thing, but of course everything is now shut down because of COVID. Kind of fucked us up a little bit, but we've been shooting sketches and we got stuff in the works, but I don't want him looking elsewhere for that and trying to be white famous, because that's where the money is. When you set yourself up as the standard, everyone by default, even the Asians do it to a certain extent. And
they do it.
And saying like, because they're white adjacent, like you don't. I don't want none of that.
Ooh,
I don't want
white
you to feel like
adjacent.
you can't
I love
be.
That's a word.
You,
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to feel like you have to be
Get
a
my
watered down
goals.
version of yourself in order to get the big bucks. And because they set this up as a standard in the media and art, and I want you to be your full authentic self in your art and what you do, and own your masters, own your original scripts, own all of your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So just promoting ownership, because that's how they
There you
did
go.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you on that tip. Seriously.
J-Dub, what's going on, my brother?
So for me, it's about building these next generational leaders, which I think that's where we're going to have our gap at. So mine is twofold. One, teaching kids and younger in that same age bracket, LeVar, as you, that 16 to 24-year-old kid. I've started my own property management company, and it's kind of twofold. So we're going after hotel contracts to kind of give us a lot more financial stability. But on the back end, we're working with kids 16 to 24, and we're working in real estate, teaching these kids how to become financial, to navigate the financial world as far as real estate investment is concerned. Because most people don't know that our alternative color people, our white people, typically are using the banks to finance their real estate growth. And I know how to navigate that. So we're working with 16 to 24-year-old kids that are working in trade, getting homes in the city of Camden, in the city of Philadelphia, and teaching them how to, one, buy them, two, how to renovate them either as primary residence for themselves or as an investment to either sell and rent. Because real estate is very, very stable when it comes to building your wealth. And I was never a stock person, but for me, I understood real estate very, very easily. So that's what I'm doing. So we're working with these kids that want to get into hospitality, whether it's on the food and beverage side, front office management, and into general management, also as a trade into facilities management. And on the other end, I think because within the city of Philadelphia and the city of Camden, you got a lot of city-owned properties that are falling down, dilapidated, look a hot mess, and the city's just doing nothing with them. So we're trying to hone in on those opportunities for these kids that live in these communities, because it does two things. It gives you pride of ownership, number one. You also live in a community that now, like my aunt lives on Walnut Street in Camden. When I was a kid, there was probably 5 or 6 abandoned homes on the block. To now, there's only 4 or 5 that are occupied. So we want these younger people to understand at a young age about real estate ownership and navigating and having some kind of financial help. And however they get to it typically is not necessarily the way that we want to focus on, but just teaching them how to work with the banks and teaching them about credit and things of that nature.
That's dope.
I work in the mortgage industry too, Jeff, by the way. That's my 9 to 5. I'm a loan processor, so.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brown girl, what you got?
So one of the things that I do, I've been at my job for 15 years now. For about 15 years now. So one of the things that I do internally at my job is to make sure that anytime there is an opportunity for a Black experience to be known or to be told, I make sure that I step into it and share it. Just because right now we all know that diversity and inclusion is the trigger word for 2020 for all corporations at this point. So I make sure that anytime they're not telling the correct Black experience, I make sure I interject with proper storytelling. But on the side, I created the Brown Girl Experience, and what I do with that is I create spaces and places for Black women to be able to share their stories and experiences, and then and the ones who are uncomfortable with sharing their stories and experiences, I help give them, help them with some tools in order to tell their stories, because I think it's really important for us to own our narrative. And when it comes to owning your narrative, it makes it easier for you to navigate in this world, because now you see yourself and you have a better value of yourself. So I help build that up. I recently got into, and it's honestly, it's because of my job. Like, I had to do some volunteer work in order to get my pay increase this past year. And so, where did they send us? They sent us to a place in Camden, because that's where our company is located now, called Lucy. And all the people that went prior to my group, when my group was 3 Black people, they were saying, oh, you know, the kids aren't really that responsive. Don't feel bad if they don't engage with you, blah, 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 and everything. And I was like, all right, cool. I just need to get my pay increase. And honestly, that's how I walked into it. However, once I got there, and the topic that we chose was public speaking, because believe it or not, so many kids don't feel comfortable. Well, so many humans don't feel comfortable public speaking. And we got all the kids to the point where they were talking so much that their dinner time had come. And the kids were like, can you guys still stay while we're eating dinner? And then they kept asking us to come back. And what it was, nobody was coming to these kids speaking the language that they understood. You know, they came there and they were speaking the language that you would speak in a boardroom, talking with slide decks and stuff like that. We got in the room, we put the chairs in a circle, and we sat with the kids. So now, like, part of my business structure is I do want to find more opportunities to reach back to kids that are less fortunate. Like, I'm a girl from the suburbs, so I never really had to struggle like that. But in my podcasting days and just going out and having to do volunteer work, I noticed that I might be kind of a unicorn when it comes to stuff like that. And a lot of young Black girls don't see Black women like me in their everyday. So, you know, just to kind of give back and let them see, like, you can have the afro and the color hair and, you know, the 22 tattoos and still work in corporate America and still make it.
That's right.
You can still do that. Don't let what people pigeonhole you in make that the thing that you stick in, like, oh, I can only do X, Y, Z. No, baby girl. No.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Yes. Like, I come to work with different hair every 2 weeks.
So do I.
Yes.
And all the colors. And I tattoos on my wrist and neck. And I still come
Girl,
in demand the respect. I set my own boundaries. No, this is not what's going to be done. So I level set in corporate America, and then I take the skill set that I learned there on how to navigate in that mainstream America, and I bring it back to the America I want to flourish in. So that's it. And I use my talent of storytelling just to create stories about Black women in non-traditional roles. So that's it.
That's dope. That's
super
awesome.
dope.
Super dope.
Miss Jackson.
Yes. So currently my role is split. I'm partially a therapist, and I'm also in administration. And I'm the only minority female Black in administration. So it's great to have that opportunity to really set the stage for increased diversity, education, and like Mr. Erb said, like with interns, give them that extra boost. And even with the green staff who are not interns who just graduated, give them that extra boost. Also, I do have some flexibility. So soon, hopefully, LJ's father will be here, King. I wanted to start a group for our Black and brown girls at my job. I feel like they're really in need. There's so much self-esteem issues, trauma. And so I want a group specific to them and for them, so their voices can be heard. In the near future, I do want to try to pursue a very small private practice, more so possibly online in the office, particularly for women of color. So that's
awesome.
Love that.
That's dope. That's dope. I know for me personally, I've been a New Jersey business owner since 2004. You know, I started out with the record label Entertainment. And I did that because I'm from Mount Holly, Muck City, New Jersey, you know, stand up. But there was a lot of talented people that were there when I was coming up. Especially in the music, there was one studio, and there were not a lot of people that. Hold up, you.
He's so cute.
What's up, son?
What's up, LJ? What's going on, man?
What's going on, son?
So me and Ricky were playing plushies.
Y'all playing plushies?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, so we taking a break from Cuphead and Avengers right now?
Me and Ricky we're just not playing Cuphead.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. How's everything going? You having a good day?
Yep.
Are you being good, man?
Ooh, the pause.
You being good?
I said, I'm gonna head out. I'm about to head out.
All right, that's cool.
All right, now, sister.
All right, son. All right, I just wanted to say hi to you, buddy. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Remember when he was a baby?
Yeah, right. Back when he used to look like her. Now, you know.
Now he looks like you.
Exactly. His twin.
Them Henry Winrow genes took over, you know. But you know, the stuff that I do for you know, it just kind of, when he came into play, when my son came into play, it changed things. So everything that I do now is thinking about the future for what it is that I'm getting ready to put out into this world. That is a child that I'm trying to bring into a man that I'm trying to guide to put out into the world. And my most important job is to put something out there that's worthwhile, that's going to be able to do something positive to this world. So that's where all of my energy goes. I took my entertainment industry or my entertainment business, and you know, I turned it into a soaping business also. So now I sell soap. I named it after him because I want him to have something, you know, when he grows up, he can just slide right into. He doesn't have to worry about asking anybody for anything. He doesn't got to ask anybody for a damn thing. You know, he's going to already have it, you know, and then he can in turn, because of the morality that I've put into him, he can then in turn bring other people on with him and keep the ball rolling. You understand what I'm saying? The other things that I would like to do is really, there have been a lot of people that have been coming to me and asking me about, you know, how to do certain things, particularly with the music, because I was doing it for a while and, you know, we made a lot of great moves, but there's been a lack of direction. You know, there's always a plan for success, whatever kind of success it is you want to try to reach. There's always a plan for it, but not everybody has that plan or the know-how. When I was coming up, we all went to one studio, ton of talented people, and got nothing for it. Paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to a person that did absolutely nothing but take our money. You know, we need to do something different about that. You know, so I would like to actually open up a place that is going to direct people on what to do after you make a song or after you know, do that first big thing that you're thinking about, because now it's like, then what? You know, back in the day, we thought, oh, great, I made a song. We're going to be famous. Yeah, no, it's not how that works. It's not how that works. There's 100 more steps to take right after that one, you know, and there needs to be somebody that's going to show them how, because if somebody comes to you and tells you that they want to be a doctor or they want to be a lawyer, you're going to sit there and tell them that's a great idea. Here's what you need to do. Right. But if somebody sits down and tells you, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a stand-up comedian, or I want to be, you know, an actor. Oh, well, you know, make sure you have something to fall back on. Really? Right. Okay. Yep. Where's the plan though? Where's the plan? Because there's a plan for that too. You know, so my love, what I would love to do is create a place where we can explore that plan and let them know that there is a plan for whatever it is that you want to do for your dream. And if that's your dream, then here is what the plan is. And I would love for that to be some kind of studio school back in my hometown. I would love to do that. Somewhere in the future.
That's definitely.
You can put it where the gardens used to be.
Yeah, we could.
Ain't nothing there now.
I was born on Levis Drive, so I know.
All right.
Not for nothing, but we got a log cabin in Woodland that's not being utilized if you want to run a pilot, just to get your curriculum down and get the flow of it. You know.
Network.
I'm pretty sure.
We need to talk, man.
I already got you plotted too. I'm on all of y'all. Like, you know what I mean?
All of y'all.
I'm on everything.
This how God work. I hope that somebody is going to be listening to this and understand that we out here. Mm-hmm. I hope somebody is going to listen to this and understand that they're not alone. I hope somebody listens to this and understands that they got a whole community fighting for them. I hope somebody can get rid of my thoughts of creating a word like validation. 157 Boyd Street. That was my address in East Camden. 1863 is the year that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. That's 157 years ago. Just made me think of my address on Boyd Street. It's 157 years. We still got a long way to go. Not to prove to white folk that we're doing a great job or we should be here and we should be free, but to prove to ourselves that we can move one step closer each day and pull somebody with us. A lot of us, you know, black folk, we passionate people. So we quick to tell a motherfucker what we'll die for, right? Huh? You say, oh yeah, I'm gonna die for my son. I'm gonna die for, you know, some people, some of us to die for a flag. The thing is that I encourage us to acknowledge what we're gonna live for. I've been on this earth for 42 years, meaning that I had a longer time to live for something than I'll have to die. I only died once. I'm only gonna die once. But if I can continue to live for 2 more days, guess what? I could do more in these 2 more days than I could do for dying one time. I live for tomorrow because I understand that tomorrow lies my people. Tomorrow, my people are gonna need another breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just as well as they did today. I'm honored to have started and to be a part of a community so beautiful. I'm honored to be a part of a union of people that are dedicated to one another. And with that, I would like closing comments, please.
In closing, I think one of the things that I just want to remind people is validation is okay in order to track your progress in any type of situation. Seeking validation for the people who employ you is okay when trying to learn the skills and get the education that you need in order to flourish in your career. Because one of the things, like, not all of us are meant to be entrepreneurs, and it's okay. Some of us are just, I don't even say just, some of us, our major skill set is being able to move up these ladders in these positions and then turn around and reach back and teach other people who look like us to do the same thing. Because the more people who look like us in these corporations, especially at the high decision levels, what happens is then you start having companies that start looking at the customers that they serve that look like me and you, and they start to service us differently. So, there is nothing wrong with wanting to move up the ladder. There's nothing wrong with wanting to seek that validation so that you can get on that right track to do so. Just don't lose your sense of self in doing it. And it's also okay to be a full-time employee, a full-time worker and an entrepreneur at the same time. People don't talk about that piece of it because I'm one of those people. I have a pension. I have no intention on leaving my company because I have a pension and retiree medical. But I also can create another business on the side that allows me to be an entrepreneur and still take the things that I want to put out in this world and put them out on my terms. So remind people they have options for every single thing. Is different paths on how you're going to get there. And it's okay to seek the validation until that validation is the only thing that you're living for. And that's when you have to take that step back and ask yourself, what is the purpose? What is your purpose for doing anything that you're doing? So that's my job.
So I think, I like myself, I grew up in the suburbs. And when I look at my community, there's times where I get upset, and it's for a different reason. I just think we misrepresent ourselves in a lot of situations. And I want to start imparting into some of our younger people, our next millennium, our next generation, to look at things differently. I love Black people. I grew up around them all my life. And
don't say but.
No but coming. I love them. I love
Okay.
them. I love them to death, and I want to see us represented at the highest level. I used to have an argument with Herb about Barack Obama, and
it's still an argument. It's still
he
an
got
argument.
mad at me because I said that my parents' generation were it meant so much more to my parents' generation to have a Black or African American president than it did to ours because of some of the things that they've experienced. And I've experienced some of that as well. And nowadays you see it on a much more open level, you know, how much that we fight for. And I just want to see my people represented 100% at the highest level. So that's my soapbox.
Thank you. We'll argue later.
I'm gonna change my number.
That's how I find
you. In closing, first and foremost, I just, appreciate you, cousin, bringing me on. I'm very, mashallah, that I got a chance to meet all these beautiful souls on here. Everybody is so secure and in their own lane. And I just think that that's a lot of the problem sometimes that we face, that we're insecure in our own skin. And so whatever those angers or issues we're dealing with, we sometimes project it out in a negative fashion. And then, you know how it is. If a teacher yell at you in the classroom, you're going to snap back. You ain't even worrying about what she said. And I think that's kind of the mentality. But in regards to the validation, I think that, we just need to be secure in our positions. And when we do ascend to a certain level, we have to first conduct ourselves as if we belong there. And then maybe we won't get questioned or subconsciously think we're being questioned, because that's what it is. We don't feel like we're supposed to be there sometimes. And, I remember being a kid and walking past, some of the spots in Collinswood, like, oh, I'm going to go there one day. Now that I'm grown, I could walk into these places and I don't look around to see. I belong here. Yo, you got a table? What's good? You know what I mean? Or if I have a reservation, it's about that character and that coof that you bring to it. Like, yo, I belong here. You're going to respect me. And that's what it is. And I think that if we can kind of live in that space, without being too aggressive sometimes and intimidate those in power, I think that we'll be all right. And just be focused with a goal in mind of why you're doing it. Don't just be doing it because that's how it is, boss. Like negative. Be consciously, sucking that information and knowledge for them so that you can take yourself to the next way. That validation, if it presents in your life, basically should just be a vehicle to get you where you're going to. It shouldn't be a lifestyle. So that's it.
Amen.
Shout out to Camden Clock Chasers, though.
True.
They ran a day at Homedale, New Jersey. They went off as usual.
They had a mask on, man. I'm just fucking with
you. Cross country, you out in the woods. You out in the woods. They separated.
I'm fucking with you, man.
But hey, man, it might be some pants on here. I want to know. Hey, listen, we practicing social.
I'm fucking with you, man.
We practicing social distance.
Social distancing.
Yo, you see how he came out? No, we had surgical mask, and then we were social distancing.
Hey, man, the thought is that this is touching all ears. We want. Hey, I'm looking for validation. Some of my fingers,
like automatically. You saw that, right? See what I'm saying?
Some of my right in there. Some of our sponsors might be on here with that check. Like, hold up.
You know, with your ass. I was gonna hit you with that shit. I'm glad you got yourself, bro, because I was gonna damn sure get you with that.
Hold up.
All right, good looking.
So I'm just very appreciative to have been invited to this platform. I'm kind of echoing what everyone else said, but I think the first part is your self-esteem and having your stable sense of self and not being selfish in your knowledge with people of color. Again, looking back, teaching them, helping them, supporting them, and moving forward. So that's what I would say. Just know how to play the game, but don't get sucked into it. Always have a sense of self to get the opportunity and seize it and go for it.
Flash.
You're. My closing comments. Hey, smoke weed every day.
Wow.
The L a day keeps the doctor away.
There you go. It's hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I need to speak to you off camera.
Oh I don't need nobody else saying nothing else after that.
Yeah. That was the finale right there, boy. Hey, I think we got another one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another hit. I appreciate everybody. I really do.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for being here. Hey, you stuck now. You're part of the community. It's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. This is a community. You thought you was going somewhere? Hell no. Hell no. But seriously, man.
This is a cult? What the hell? Now I can't get out.
Hey. Now she had to take that shit to a whole nother level.
Hey, can I throw something out? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Cuz.
Before we leave. So everybody, I know Miss Jackson said she's in Florida, but anybody that's in this Camden County, Philadelphia area, I don't know y'all situations, but it sounds like everybody got a lot going on. If y'all looking for space and, to kick up something, y'all might want to get with Miss Naima Gillespie or Mr. Wade. They run the WCMD building. Those that's familiar with this area, it's the old Medeast campus, Medeast High School. They took it over. I had my students in there before the COVID hit, renovating. So basically, it's a whole school with various different rooms. They looking for us. They looking for people like us to upstart businesses. Space. She already got a dance studio in there. They got a wrestling team in there. They already have a podcast studio in there. They got a spot where a young lady, I don't know what type of doctor she is, because I didn't know you had to be a doctor or licensed, but she's doing like the bikini waxes in there. Like they got a lot of stuff going on in there. Say again?
An esthetician?
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. So, but it's just a dope building. I do business with them, you know what I mean? WCMD, like I said, is right on Kane Avenue. My email and stuff is in the link.
Oh, I think I've been there. I was on somebody's radio show.
Yeah, you probably was. You might have been with Diamond. Diamond Cuts used to be in there.
Something with Quinky B or something.
Oh yeah. She do the late night little nasty. Oh, you was on the nasty. Yeah.
I was on that nasty one.
That was Flash. I know that was Flash.
Shit.
But that's a dope campus right there, man. They making a lot of moves. Oh, they got the other brothers that's helping wrongfully convicted individuals get exonerated. Like it's a dope campus. It's a dope movement. So real
shit.
It's a space. Real. Sometimes we'd be like, where am I gonna put it? How? It's no foot traffic. Whatever. You want to start something up that ain't gonna murder your pockets and they're gonna be supportive of you. That's a dope place. I advocate for them strongly. I strongly recommend them.
That's what's up. That's good to know.
Sure. All right. So you saw a lot of jewels. Well, you heard a lot of jewels being dropped today. We also saw a lot of connections being made, and we also heard a lot of commitments being stated. Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
This community is committed. This community is committed, and I thank every last one of you guys.
Thank you.
And this is where we sign off. Peace.
Y'all be blessed.
Take care.
Hey, don't you go anywhere. Please subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. Leave a message too, please. And please, somebody told King I did this shit, man. I can't keep sneaking these intros and outros on if y'all keep telling, all right? Damn.